Hey, what's up people of YouTube, it's me StormChris back again with another video. And today, we'll be talking about Wizard of Legend, a roguelike indie game. Jesus, another one? Developed by Contingent 99, which consists of a two-person team whose first child is this game. Which I gotta say is an excellent foot to start on because I love this game. So let's get this show started so I can just gush about this game. So the story is kind of simple, very simple. You are a wizard aiming to be the Wizard of Legend. In order to do that, you must overcome the Council of Magic's Chaos Trial, which is an ever-changing gauntlet where you traverse through a castle and face off against 3 powerful mages and 1 supreme mage. After you defeat them and clear the trial, then you will be crowned the Wizard of Legend. But trust me, the story does not play a huge role in the experience because when you are playing the game, the story takes a nice and clean backseat, which I don't think is that much of an issue, especially since this is a roguelike game where the main draw of the game is constantly retrying the trials and experiencing something new every time. Yet, I wish there was a little more. Like for instance, I wish that there would have been a bit more exposition for the world that we are in, like how the Chaos Trial started, or who are these 3 mages? How did they get into these positions? How about the Supreme Mage? How did he get into his position? Etc, etc, etc. But like I said, that isn't much of an issue, just a minor nitpick. So now we get to move to the big juicy meat of the game, the gameplay. Like mentioned beforehand, this game is a roguelike game, meaning that every time you play this game and go through the dungeon, everything is completely randomized. On your journey throughout the Chaos Trial, you will have to explore 10 floors. Within each floor there is a boss that awaits you. 6 of them are hidden somewhere on the floor that you're in, and you need to find them in order to progress through the dungeon. The other 4 are fought one-on-one after you traverse through enough of the dungeon. So, how do you defend yourself? Well,
you're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
A wizard.
As a wizard, you can channel the power of the Arcana, magical cards that come in 6 delicious flavors such as fire, earth, lightning, wind, water, and chaos, which is only for the big boys. Every Arcana comes in different shapes and forms. You have an Arcana that lets you do Rock Lee's Hidden Lotus technique, an Arcana that lets you chuck motherfucking Rasengans, and an Arcana that lets you unleash your fucking rage on people, and many, many more. You can only take 4 Arcana with you every single time you go through the trials, but you can find or buy more Arcanas in order to make yourself a very versatile wizard. Conquering the Chaos Trial means learning how to combo and time your Arcana uses, and could very much mean the difference between a good run and a bad run. But there are 120 different Arcanas out there, so don't be afraid to change up your loadout if things aren't working out. I, for one, deal with this all the time, just because I find it fun to see just what Arcanas work well with one another. And I love to just buy a new Arcana and immediately go into the trial and test it out to see if it's a good one or a bad one. While in the trials, you will meet many different people who are willing to help you, if you're willing to pay the right price. Some ask for money, some ask for your Arcana, some ask for your very soul. And some ask for you to fulfill their sick masochistic desires. You sick piñata. Afterwards, they can either give you an Arcana to add to your current kit, or a relic which will give you some kind of buff like reduced cooldowns when getting a kill, the ability to do your ultimate move twice, or be a horseman. Truly, the sign of a true wizard. Like mentioned before, in order to advance through the trials, you need to fight the boss. Which, if you're thinking that you can just run in and fuck them up because you got strong Arcanas, well boy, you are in for one rude awakening because they will fuck you up. All bosses have super armor in the fight, and it's your job to dodge their attacks and wait for an opening, in which it's your turn to lay the smack down on their candy asses. Comboing and timing your Arcana uses is the key to victory in these situations, because you only have a limited time before the boss gets their super armor back and gives you a firm slap in the face for slapping them. And trust me, nothing stings more than getting your shit rocked just because you mistimed the punish and having your run end because of it. You and a buddy can even team up to take on the Chaos Trials, which honestly makes the trials a bit easier but still a challenge, because you guys share money but not relics or Arcana. And the game even pulls a double dragon every time you beat a council member, and makes you fight your partner for some reason.
There can be only one.
Yeah, Okay, but a wizard is only as strong as he is fashionable. And I can already tell that you're probably like, what the fuck is he talking about? So, hear me out. You are a wizard. Wizards wear cloaks. You can buy different cloaks, which give you a small boost depending on what robe you wear, like extra health, higher crit rates, higher chance to evade, etc, etc, etc. So, experiment with what not only looks good to you, but also what fits your playstyle.
Now, with all this knowledge in hand, go and tackle the Chaos Trials, explore the dungeon, fight the council members, and become the Wizard of Legend!
Okay, so, as much as I love this game and think that it's super addicting, I have some issues. Mainly two. Why is the pickup item, interact, and attack button all the same button? Many times I've accidentally picked up a relic that I didn't want, or I've accidentally exited through the exit portal when I really wanted to explore the floor that I'm in. It really makes me wish that they would remap some of the buttons, like for instance, in controller type A, ZR has no purpose. This would have been an excellent button to use for things like picking stuff up or interacting with objects. Like, yes, I understand that I should be more careful, but it's still kind of annoying having one button do three things. A good solution to this would either to allow the player custom controller configurations or just remap some buttons. Second issue I have though is the frame rate. I played this game mainly on the Nintendo Switch, and I've experienced many instances where frames would just fucking evaporate. And it would ruin my tempo, and I'd get hit by an enemy I can't see because my lord, look at this. Two things immediately came to mind. Either this game has horrible optimization on the Switch, or the Switch is underpowered for this game. So I bought the PC version to see which statement was true, and it ended up being the former. Though the frame rates really only drop in moments where there's a lot of stuff happening on the screen, like enemies and effects, it's still kind of a nuisance while playing, and if possible I would like to see an update fixing the frame rate issues, because other than that and the button thing, the game is really solid and I love it. Okay, so the things that I just mentioned beforehand, there were valid complaints before when I was writing this video, because I wrote it a long time ago. But now Contingent 99 sort of fixed the issues that I've mentioned beforehand. So now everything is moot and it's fixed. Everything, the frame rate's fixed. They didn't fix the button stuff, but either way, they were complaints when I wrote the video, and I'm keeping them there. So ignore the last part. They fixed the issues. The game runs fine on the Switch. Presentation wise, the game looks pretty good. Immediately my eyes loved how well the dungeon looks, making me feel as if I'm going through an ancient dungeon. Another detail that I liked is that depending on which council member you're heading to fight next, changes how the dungeon looks, very so slightly, which I think is a nice touch. Music wise, it's pretty good. The soundtrack, to be honest, sounds good in the background and really helps you feel like you're going through this mystical dungeon, yet nothing in the soundtrack really stuck with me while playing. So I decided to listen to the soundtrack in my free time, and some tracks are just pretty fucking good. Wizard of Legend is by far one of the most addicting games I've ever played. Its fast-paced action keeps you on your toes because you never know when an enemy is going to rush at you and you need to dodge and punish accordingly. Having so many Arcanas to choose from encourages experimentation because just so many Arcanas combo well with one another. It could very much mean the difference between a good run and a bad run, so just go and experiment. As well as the relics that add some spice to the gameplay because no two relics are the same. Plus, the randomization of the dungeon makes every run feel different and unpredictable. So, if you're looking for an addicting, fast-paced roguelike to add to your game library this summer, go out and buy Wizard of Legend. It's available for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Steam right now for about $16, and I believe it's well worth the money. So, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to go play some Wizard of Legend right now. See ya!